Well, the percentage of foreign-born in the United States is the highest it's been in a century, maybe ever. It's hard exactly to know, but it's still rising in any case. 67 million Americans, more than 1 in 5, speak a language other than English at home. Pretty much everyone in Washington is fine with that, number rising. Some of them want the U.S. to completely open its borders to the rest of the world. But what would the effect be if we did that? Who is coming here? What are they like? And where's all of this going? If you look at these numbers, we are joined by Stephen Camarata, Director of Research at the Center for Immigration Studies. He joins us tonight. Stephen, just the first obvious observation, people, when I was a kid, used to care about overpopulation. I guess nobody does anymore?
Yeah, that's a fair question. The latest Census Bureau numbers indicate that immigration by 2060 will add 75 million people to the U.S. population. So you'd think people concerned about the environment or traffic pollution, congestion, sprawl would think about that,
well,
but
those
no
are real
discussion.
Concerns, which I will admit as a kid,
yeah.
I mocked the liberals for having, but as I get older, I realize you don't want to live in a crowded place. Everyone's unhappy. It's horrible, and it's dirty. So does anyone on the left still say that?
There are a few progressives out there. You may know the organization Numbers USA. They have a lot of progressive support, and they tend to focus a lot on the population growth. But most mainstream people on the left don't touch it with a 10-foot pole because it's all, in the United States, about 95% of population growth long-term is new immigrants and the children they have, and so they don't want to touch the issue anymore.
Wait, what percentage of population growth?
About 95%. Between now and 2060, about 95% of the increase in the U.S. population will come from future immigrants and the children and grandchildren they'll have.
So that's almost a complete turnover in population, basically.
No, that's population growth. That's about 75 million people.
Okay.
So most of all the increase is coming from immigration. So from about 328 to 404 is about where we're headed, something like that.
So the language numbers are really interesting to me. 1 in 5 people living in this country does not speak English at home. Has it ever been that high?
It's hard to say, but it may have been that high in the past. What's even more interesting, or perhaps more troubling, is how concentrated it is. So there are all kinds of areas where the Census Bureau divides the country into various areas where 95% of the people, or 85% of the people, and 95 and 85% of the people in schools, kids in schools, speak a foreign language at home. That's what's truly extraordinary. One wonders how assimilation can work with that level of immigration and foreign language concentration.
So what are, broadly speaking, the education levels of the immigrants who are coming here?
It varies enormously.
Of course it does.
So, you know, you're looking at a situation where 80% plus of immigrants from India come with a college degree or more, and then for, say, immigrants from Central America, it's less than 10% come with a college degree. And the same thing for immigrants.
So how does that break down? So what percentage of our immigrants are coming with no education versus those coming with high degrees of education?
Yeah, right now, somewhat over a fourth of all immigrants have less than a high school education when they come. A little over a fourth also have no more than a high school education. So a high school education or less is a little over half, and then a little less than half is some college or even college and more. So that's the very rough breakdown.
So the majority have high school education or less?
Or less, right. So no education beyond high school. And we know from a lot of research that their welfare use and poverty is quite high.
Of course. Across the board. Stephen Camarata, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you just heard as millions of people, many of them